come on over to the mat. We'll start with our roll downs. If you have the Pilates ball, I'm really liking this one. You can throw it between just above your knees, in between the thighs. Have your belly button in. Knees are a little bit soft. If you don't have the ball, obviously you don't need to use it. Knees are a little bit soft. Scoop everything in, stand up really tall, and we're gonna peel down to your toes, but you're gonna really, really take your time with it. So you're just gonna bring your chin to your chest. Let your head hang really heavy. You feel that stretch in your neck in between the shoulder blades. And then we're gonna peel down a little bit more. Just sort of inch your way down. Take your time. Really try to keep your face close to your chest. And keep a good squeeze on the ball if you're using the ball. Knees are staying soft. Hands are dropping down to the ground. And just use these roll downs to make little sort of pins on where it's grabbing your attention. Just use this as a bit of a body scan as well. So dropping all the way down as close to the floor as you can get. Really stretch those legs out. And then we'll come all the way back up. Tuck your tailbone, stack your spine. Roll your shoulders back. Chest is open. Excellent. Now the next one, we're going to roll down. Keep a good squeeze on the ball. Knees are soft. Hands are heavy. You're going to drop about sort of halfway down. You can grab your elbows and we're going to sway side to side. And just try to keep the hips to your heels really still. Just lengthening out from one side to the other side. And then we'll come back into the center. If you have the ball, we're just going to throw it off to the side. Bring your hands to the ground. So bend your knees as much as you need to. And we're going to straighten out your right leg. Reach your right hand up to the ceiling. Look to your fingers. Try to lift up and open from the sternum. And take that hand from the ceiling, stretch it up over your head. If this feels useful, if you've got some shoulder issues and this is bothering you, you don't have to do this. Just really lengthen out. You'll feel that stretch all in that armpit side space. And then we'll come back into the center and to the other side. So I'm bending my knees, straightening the other leg out, reach your hand up, really stretching up and open, and then give that big stretching wave. And just breathe with it. We'll come back into the center, come all the way back up to standing, roll your shoulders back, and we're going to drop down onto your knees. We're going to start with some chest openers, get the shoulders moving, get the arms loosened up a little bit. So I'm sitting back onto my heels. I'm going to hold onto the front of your knees, pull back, round your back around, drop your chin to your chest, scoop everything in really, really tight. Tuck your tailbone. You'll feel that stretch all past the shoulder blades, all in the neck. Without moving your head, I want you to bring your right shoulder up to your ear, and then drop it down, and then left shoulder up to your ear, and drop it down. So the shoulder you're lifting, you're going to feel that stretch all around the shoulder blade. And I'm really breathing in really deep as I'm bringing my shoulder up. And then we'll come back up to sitting nice and tall. Take one hand, you're going to rainbow up, paint a rainbow up over your head, reaching back behind you. Look to your fingers, and then back forwards. And I'm just letting my eyes follow my hand as I'm reaching up and back. Take your time with this. There's going to be places in your shoulder that are catching and feeling clunky. Just go really slowly through them. And feel like you can reach a little bit higher up with each move. Make the rainbow a bit stronger as you're working. I'm going to do one more on each side. Just breathing with it. And last one. And then back in. You need a little bit of space for this one. You take your hands out in front of you, push your hands forward. So you're really rounding out your upper back. Scoop your tummy in, hold your tummy in really tight, and then pull your fingers back behind you, nice open chest. Take a deep breath in, and breathing out, close. So breathing in, open, and breathing out, close. And I'm using my belly button to kind of lead the move as well. So as I'm pulling back, my belly button scooping into my spine. Feel that stretch opening in the chest. Should feel a nice sort of like length in the arms. We'll do one more. And then back into center. Give your shoulders a little roll around. You're going to take your hands, palms open, have your elbows in, shoulders are melting down, collarbones are open. Stretch your fingers open and then make a fist. This little series we're just about to do now is really good if you're at a computer for a while or you feeling like your wrists are bothering you. Just really stretch, open fingers, try to stretch them as wide as you can, and then make a fist. Stretch, make a fist. We won't do this for very long, but if you have more time, you can sit and do this for ages. It's just one to add in, maybe if you're on a Zoom call and your camera's off. Now we're going to make a fist, pull the fist in, and then drop the fist back open. I'm just doing little like fist curls. You'll feel that stretch all on the sort of top part of your wrist. And listen to what's grabbing your attention from hand to hand. Now we're going to draw little circles with your fist. And reverse. And reverse. And reverse. Perfect. Pull them in. Should feel like it's getting a little bit easier. And then take your hands out to the side. Palms are open. We're going to push the air out to the side, push it up, big stretch, and then back in. And push. Deep breath in and breathing out. So you're kind of just finding as much length in your fingers as you can. When you're stretching out, make sure that your shoulders aren't coming up to your ears. You're still dropping them down. And then float back in. And stretch. And pull. You'll feel that funny little tendon stretch, so it might feel like a bit like pins and needles in your arm. Now we're going to stretch out, push the air up over your head. Now we're going to turn your palms down and float down to the ground. Turn your palms up, push the air up, breathing in, and float back down. And again, palms up, push, and down. We'll do one more all the way up, and down. Push your fingers onto the floor as hard as you can, and walk them away as far away as you can. So now we're going into a super like nervy tendon stretch. Walk them a little bit further away. Keep them really grounded. Stand really tall or lift right up out of your waist. Now drop your ear to your shoulder. And drop your ear to your other shoulder. Should feel quite intense. See if you can walk your fingers a bit further away. So you feel that stretch all from the neck down into the shoulder, running all the way into your fingers. And I'm just moving side to side a bit, at a bit of a pace. But you're welcome to hold. If it feels good on one side, just hold it for a bit longer. Come back into center. We're going to turn your palms open and bring your fingers back behind you. Pull your fingers back, really open your palms. So you're trying to touch your fingers back behind you. Take a deep breath in. See if you can push them a bit further away. You'll feel that super intense stretch. Perfect. Bring your ear to your shoulder. Keep your hands where they are. Now bring your jaw up, the corner of your jaw up to the ceiling. And breathe into it. And we'll go to the other side. Ear to your shoulder, jaw to the ceiling. Super deep breath in. And we'll come out of that. Give your shoulders a little roll around. Nice work. Let's go onto your hands under your shoulders. Knees are under your hips. Have a really good wide foundation with your hands. So you're spreading your fingers out. Pull your belly button in. Excellent. We're going to go into your cat-cow. So you're tucking your tailbone, rounding your back right up and around. And then drop your tummy down. Open sit bones, open chest. So I'm breathing with this. Each move is a breath. However you want to breathe. Just feel like everything's flowing. As this is getting a little bit easier and you feel like your body's loosening up, getting into the move, you can make it a bit stronger. So you can imagine you're wrapping around a beach ball. We're going to put the beach ball on your back, touch it with the back of your head and your tailbone, and then put the beach ball on your tummy, touch it with your forehead and the tops of your legs. And then we'll hold in the center, still strong. Keep your belly button in, make sure you're not dropping. We're going to take one hand, stretch it out, circle up and around, look to your fingers as you circle, and then we're going to alternate. So I'm going side to side, breathing with each move. And with your shoulders, with your entire body actually, anything that's grabbing your attention, whatever it may be, catching, clunking, whatever, slow down a bit through it. Give your body time to ease into the stretch. I'm going to do one more on each side. And last one. Perfect. I'm going to sit back onto my heels. Bring your hands, tops of your hands onto the floor. And try to stretch up from that. And then soften and stretch. If this feels like you're not getting anything from it, you can come forwards, have your, into your cat-cow position, and then sit back towards your heels. But start with the first one where you're sitting back. And if that feels like you want to take it deeper, then go to the next option. So you're going to feel a super intense stretch all on the tops of your hands. It's shockingly painful, so just breathe with it. And then we'll come out of that, bring the bottoms of your hands back onto the ground. Now I'm going to keep my left hand forwards. I'm going to turn my right hand backwards. So my right fingers are pointing towards my knee. And then we're going to go into your cat-cow again. I'm just doing 3 on each side. And we'll come back from that, swing that hand back forwards, and then twist the other one backwards. And again, we'll do little cat-cows to stretch that one out. And last one. Excellent. Bring both of your hands back, fingers facing forwards. Now we're going to go into little shoulder press-ups. So keep your tummy really strong. Drop your chest down, shoulders squeeze together. Push up, shoulders apart. Drop your chest down, shoulders together, shoulders apart. So try to keep your arms straight. Your elbows will want to bend and your back will want to drop, but don't let them. It's just all shoulder blades moving. Perfect. Now we're going to drop down onto your elbows, into your Sphinx pose. And we're going to go back into your cat-cow, lots of cat-cow variations. Now we're limiting the range of motion, so you won't feel like it's as big and strong, but it will feel really focused through your upper back and shoulders. And I will hold in the center. I'm going to come up onto my right hand. You can make a fist if it bothers you onto your hand, or you can, whatever your variations. I'm going to bring my left arm across into horizontal. And my right hand is straight. I'm going to take my right leg out straight behind me. I'm going to kick it up, really squeeze up, but don't drop your back. And then tap your leg down. And squeeze up. Don't drop your back. Excellent. So I'm only squeezing my leg high enough that it clicks on in the glutes, but not dropping through the stomach. And as well, think about the quads. So really tense all around your kneecap. So you're not, when you're lifting, you're not kind of like bending your leg up. So it's just a really strong, straight leg. And now if you have your arms straight, push up really strong. So it's still a little bit bent, but you have that shoulder lifted. And I'm breathing in to squeeze up and breathe out and down. Keep your tummy really strong. I'm going to change the move now. I'm going to come up to the ceiling and I'm going to bend my knees, swing it back under like I'm about to change, and then kick it back out. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out, bend your knee, keep your toe pointed, and little squeeze up and down. This move here is really, really tiny. Keep it tiny. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop your knees down. Stretch back into child's pose. Take a second. You can have your knees wide if that feels useful. Also, if having your hands over just stretched over your head is bothering your shoulders, you can bring them down next to the side. Excellent. We'll come back forwards. I'm going to change the arm position, change the side on the leg. So I'm bringing my right hand into horizontal, my left hand is straight, my left leg is out behind. I'm going to tap to the ground, stay strong through your shoulders, tummy's in, and kick up, squeeze, and down. And again, you're only squeezing high enough that your back isn't dropping, but your glutes have clicked on. And once you know the moves, just keep your eyes pointed to the mat so you're not straining in your neck at all. While you're doing this, your shoulders might start to get tired, so think about squeezing your armpits down so you're pulling your shoulders right away from your ears. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to go from the ceiling and we're going to bend your knee, bring it back under, and then kick back out. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, stay strong, keep going, 3, 2, 1. Now bend your knee, keep your toe pointed, and we're going to squeeze up, tiny little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop your knees down, back into child's pose, stretch that out. Again, just melt into this. Find your out breath, helping you drop closer to the mat. You can bring your knees a bit wider. Sit really heavy to your heels. We're going to come all the way forwards onto your tummy. Make a little pillow with your arms. You're going to bring your legs the width of the mat. Bend your knees. Pinch your heels together. Feet are flexed. So you can, with your head position, you can look from one side to the other side. You could have your forehead down. Just focus on not overstraining in the neck. So just find the comfortable space to lay. I want you to squeeze your heels together as tight as you can and then relax. So visually, not much is happening. Internally, you're working all around pelvic floor, sit bones, hamstrings are really working, quads are working. So we're just squeezing them together really, really, really tight and then relaxing. Now, if you want to make this a bit more intense, as you squeeze your heels together, you can think about tucking your tailbone and really tensing around the quads and kneecaps, and then relax. So squeeze, 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 and relax. If you want to make that even more intense, you're going to keep the first two levels. So we're squeezing, tucking your tailbone. Now don't lose that tailbone tuck, and then try to squeeze your legs up off the ground, and then relax. So that just really grabs everything sort of from the belly button down. The smaller you make it, the more intense it is. We'll do 10. 9. 8. 7. Remember that tailbone tuck. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And stretch your legs out. Excellent. Nice and long. My legs are sort of at the corners of the mat, so we're about mat width apart. Once you use all of your internal deep core strength, tense your tummy. Now squeeze your legs off the ground and then drop them down. If you feel like keeping your legs straight is a bit of a struggle, before you lift, just try to squeeze your kneecaps and then relax. So you're doing like a pre-lift and you feel like the quads click on, so just the top part of your leg. And then once you feel like you've gotten that, then squeeze the quads and then lift the legs. You'll feel the difference. I'm just lifting kind of as high as I can comfortably, not overdoing it too much. We'll do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring your legs right together. We're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be completely different. Squeeze your legs together as tight as you can. Squeeze the quads, tense the kneecaps, and then lift your legs up again. And down. And lift. And down. Super intense. The tighter you squeeze your legs, the better you're doing this. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stretch your legs out into a comfortable position. We're going to ignore them now. Move on to your arms and shoulders. Let's bring your hands so your shoulders are melting down your back. Your arms are just next to the sides. You're going to have your nose just tap into the mat and then lift it up into a comfortable position. However high it works for you, make sure that you're just engaging the back a little bit. So you're not lifting up too high and you're not completely collapsed on the mat. Just find sort of a nice little middle ground. I want you to push your arms on the ground as hard as you can, and then relax. And push and relax. So you're feeling all of your arms all around where the arms connect into the shoulders. As you're pushing, think about squeezing down as well. So now you're using those pull down all along the sides of the rib cage. And this is the one that is, the harder you push, the harder you're working. Just make sure that you're not straining in your neck. You're not using your jaw to do this. You're really breathing to squeeze and breathing to relax. We're going to keep the move going. We're going to add a little lift to it. So I'm going to squeeze as hard as I can, and with my relax, I'm going to float my arms up and then down, push, squeeze, and float up. And down, push, squeeze, and float up. And now we're going to stay up for this next one. So all the way up, tap your fingers above your head, squeeze them down to the side. So we're like windshield wipers. I'm breathing in to tap above my head, breathing out to squeeze down. See if you can move a bit more through the shoulder blades. Should hopefully be feeling a bit more free flowing with the move. And now we're going to stretch your arms all the way out nice and long. Stretch them a little bit further. You just scoot down the mat. You're going to stretch, stretch, stretch like you're trying to pull them out of socket. Lift your chest up a little tiny bit, and then use the muscles all around where the arm connects in to squeeze them down. And then stretch them away and squeeze them down. Stretch and squeeze down. If you're feeling really stuck in your shoulders, this might be more of an idea than an actual movement, but just go, try your best with it. Now we're going to stretch away. I'm just going to pull one arm in. I'm going to start with my right arm. I'm going to pull it in right under my shoulder and look over my right shoulder. So you've got that little tiny twist in the upper back. When you're here, you're tempted to lift your hip up. Keep your hips really heavy to the ground. And then stretch it back away. And we'll go to the left. So we're just alternating side to side. And I'm working with the breath. So I'm breathing to twist and breathing to stretch. I'll do one more on the other side. Perfect. Come out of that, roll onto your side. I'm going to keep my head onto my arm, so super relaxed feeling. Take your legs all the way out straight. I'm going to have your hand in the front, so you're not sort of rolling anywhere. Before we do anything, I want you to squeeze your shoulders down your back. Find that shoulder stability that will help you balance out. So you've got your hand in the front and your shoulders supporting the move. We're going to lift your legs off the ground, tiny bit, and then drop them down. And again, lift and down. So we're doing 10, just floating them off of the ground, just enough that you feel like you've engaged that top part of your waist. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to hold up for the last one. Hold up here. Keep this top leg really stable, and then drop the bottom down and lift it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Bend your knees, Squeeze your knees together really, really tight and lift your feet up and forwards. Remember your shoulder blades are squeezing down, so your shoulder's not rolling forwards, just that top hip is crunching forwards a bit. And then drop them down. We'll do 10. I think it's basically just 10 of everything. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Let's come up from that. Flip over. We'll do it all again on the other side. And then we're going into stomach. All the way down. Nice length in that pillow arm. Hand is in the front supporting your weight. Squeeze your shoulders down to support so you're not flopping backwards and forwards. Legs are really strong, and we're going to squeeze them up just enough to engage that top part of your waist, and then float them down. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that top leg up, and then the bottom leg lift and drop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Bend your knees. Squeeze your knees together, squeeze your shoulders down, and pull those feet up and forwards, and then back down. 10 again. 9. All of my little screens are flooded with puppies and kids. It's adorable. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Let's roll onto your back. So this next series, I'm really loving, just kind of for everybody actually. I'm going to go all the way onto your back. Bring your legs up into tabletop. If you are ever having lower back or hip issues and you just feel like you're a bit out of balance, one of those that you think maybe I should call the osteopath, try doing this before you do any of that and see if it helps. Legs are into tabletop. Bring the palms of your hands onto your knees. Now you can choose how hard you push. If you push at 100%, you're really engaging the stomach muscles. If you push at like 50%, we're just clicking on the hip flexors and working the psoas. So 50% push if you're having vulnerable back problems, 100% push if you want to work your stomach. So the palms are onto your knees. You're going to push your hands into your knees, squeeze your shoulders down, and push your knees into your hands. Push your back really, really heavy, and then relax. So visually, nothing. Internally, a lot. So let's just start. Try pushing at like 50%. We're just kind of squeezing them together and see how that feels. And then try 100%. And then with those options, just choose what feels useful for today. When you're pushing, you're thinking about pushing, not necessarily pushing your knees up and in. You're thinking about helping push your legs deeper into socket. If that makes sense. So you're feeling now a bit more around where the leg connects into the hip. And my feet are just in neutral. They're not pointed, they're not flexed, they're just kind of floating. While you're doing this, notice that your eyebrows are relaxed, your jaw is relaxed, your collarbones are open. We're going to change your hand position. Bring your hands onto the outside of your knees. Now I want you to push, I'm going to keep my toes sort of tapped, pinching together, just so they're not sort of floating and feeling vulnerable. I'm separating my knees a little bit. Push your knees into your hands into your knees, and relax. And just keep that going. Check in with your position. Make sure that your knees are not here as you're doing it. You're overly tightening the hip flexors. They want to be right over your hips. And with your hands, you're squeezing down the sides, so you've got some nice length in your neck. And check in at how tight you're squeezing. Are you working at 50%? Are you working at 100%? Both options are completely fine. I think it's really important to respect the level that you're feeling for the day. It's good to listen to your body more than your brain. Your brain will tell you you should be working at 100%, but it's just best to listen to your body. I'm going to change this again. I'm going to drop my right leg down onto the ground. I'm going to take my right hand onto the inside of my left knee and push your hand into your knee. Same as before, squeeze, 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 and relax. You'll feel like you're working really deep into that inside space where the leg connects into the pelvis. Push your lower back really heavy. We're going to do 10 squeezes on each side. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here, cup the inside of your knee, and then slowly bring your heel over and in. So I'm just bringing my foot up and across, but I'm using my hand to limit the mobility. So my hand's working as a bit of a block against the knee. Imagine that you're working in like slow motion. I'll do 2 more. And last one. And we'll change to the other side. Drop that leg down. Next leg is up. So I've got my left hand on the inside of my right knee. And do that all again. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You're going to find the same level that you did on the other side. And we'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now hold this squeeze. Now use your hand to cup the inside of the knee and then bring your heel over your left knee. Just pull it in and then back. 5. So you're using your hand to limit the movement. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Bring your knees into your chest, rock little circles on your back. So that little series doesn't take too long, but it's a nice little sort of hip lower back reset. Hold onto your knees, have your toes together, and we're going to circle your knees out separately. So you're kind of drawing a figure 8. And we'll reverse. And then drop your feet down. And have your hands palms open to the ceiling. We're going to bring your right leg up, straight up. Point your toe, flex your foot, point, flex. We're stretching out that leg as much as you can. If you feel like you're not really sure about this, you can bring your hands onto your stomach and just check in with your stomach. You'll feel like your stomach will twinge as you drop your leg down. So we're going to point your toes, sweep your leg down to the ground. Once you feel a little twinge in your stomach or a little clunk in your hip, flex your foot and pull it back up. If you don't need your hands on your stomach, you can have your hands open to the side. We're going to do 10 on each leg. 9. Find the length through that leg, really strong and long. 8. 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold up to the ceiling, point your toe, and you're going to draw a little tiny circle. The circle is no bigger than a basketball. And you're breathing. And reverse. And drop that foot down. We'll go to the other side. You can bring that leg up, point your toe, flex your foot, point, flex, strong through your back. And we're going to point, sweep it down. Listen to your stomach, listen to your hip, depending on whatever sort of clicks on first, and just come back up. It might be different for each leg. You might have a left leg that clunks when it drops, so just only drop it before the clunk in your hip. We'll do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold up at the top. Draw your little circle, about the size of a basketball or a football. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop it down. Bring your heels together-ish. They're not necessarily touching, but they're more in, and your toes are apart, so your feet are like that. Palms are hands next to the side. We're going to squeeze up into a bridge. And then float down about halfway, and then squeeze back up. You'll feel like you're really working all around sort of the side of your bum, top space. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop all the way down. Bring your feet back into parallel, but push them further away so your legs are in a really long bend. This one's horrible. Go up into your bridge again. The further away your feet are, the more your hamstrings are working. So you can adjust. Obviously, if it's killing you, bring them in a little bit closer. We're going to go up a little bit higher and then down. Little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop all the way down. Bring your knees into your chest. Give a little stretch out of that. You can rock little circles on your back. And then we're going to stretch your legs all the way out. If you are having lower back issues, you can keep one leg in a bent position just to take the strain off of your back. We're going to lift. If your back is okay, just stretch them both out. Palms are open, shoulders are relaxed. We're going to point your toes. We're just going to lift one leg up. So point, squeeze it up. I'm lifting it just that high. That's as high as I want to go. And then down. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to stay on that leg, flex your foot. And again, 10, keep it tiny, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax that leg. Onto the next leg. Point your toe and little tiny lift. 10, 9, 8, make it smaller. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and flex your foot, lift again. 10, tiny, tiny, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bend your knees, bring your heels in a little bit. Place your fingers behind your head. Elbows are open. Take a deep breath in. If you have the ball, you can use it just to throw between your legs. You don't have to use it. We're going to curl all the way up, peel your shoulder blades down your back, pull your shoulders away from your ears, squeeze your ribs down, pull your belly button in. We're going to crunch up a little bit further, right in the center. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now we're going to twist. Breathing out, twist. Think about your ribs melting across to your opposite hip, and twist. Check that your sacrum isn't moving, your hips are staying stable, your knees aren't moving. When I'm twisting, as I'm twisting, I'm looking over my shoulder. And look over your shoulder. Perfect. Belly button's in. Notice that you're not pulling your elbows in towards your face, so you're not crunching across. As soon as you pull your elbow in, you're taking tension all around your collarbone. So we just want to think all rib cage. And you're just using your arms to support the weight of your head. We're going to hold on one side. Crunch a little bit further. Squeeze the ball really tight. Crunch and crunch. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to the other side. Twist and then crunch a bit further. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down from that. Hands are next to the side. If you haven't put the ball between your knees, put the ball between your knees now. If you don't have the ball, just pinch your knees together as tight as you can, or use a pillow. Bring your legs up into tabletop. Hopefully your legs are feeling a little bit quivery from all that intense little tiny work we've been doing. Pinch your toes together, squeeze your knees together as tight as you can, and push your lower back heavy. You'll notice your tailbone becomes a bit lighter on the ground, and then drop it back down. So I'm just doing a really tiny, intense little pelvic tilt. You are trying to lift your tailbone off of the ground, but that's, if you think about lifting your tailbone off the ground, you tend to do like a jump. And I don't want you to jump. So it's a squeeze, push your back heavy. Think of your shoulders melting down away from your ears, so you've got really open collarbones. I find it helps to keep my palms open with that. So if you had a pencil in your toes, you'd be drawing a vertical line on the opposite wall. If you want to work harder and your back isn't feeling too vulnerable, you can lift and then tap down to the floor, back up to tabletop, little lift, tap down to the floor. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in the center. Now we're going to go off to the side. Bring your palms down next to you into an anchoring position. We're going to do the move 2 different ways. Visually it will look no different, but internally quite different how you're doing it. Arms are just neutral, shoulders are down. Bring your knees off to the right, bring your knees off to the left. So you're just trying to keep your shoulders and the back of your rib cage onto the ground. I'm not moving too far, I'm more or less staying kind of within the mat. Use your rib cage, squeeze your ribs down, pull your belly button in. Think of your waist like a pepper grinder, so you've got that like nice twisting across the center. Now we're going to keep the knees moving, but now we're going to get your arms going. So now the knees are going to be moving because you're pushing on the ground. So I'm going to hold in the center. I'm going to push my right arm really heavy and my knees go to the left. And then my left arm really heavy and my knees to the right. So now you're just using that push with your arm to move through the legs. And you're breathing with it. Keep those ribs down, keep your belly button in. Think of a nice long neck. Now if you want to make this more challenging and you can manage with it, you can go a bit further. But further isn't always better if you feel like it's overly twisting in your lower back. So if you are feeling like your lower back is vulnerable and a bit not balanced, then just keep your twist small. It's up to you to decide how your back is going. Because with your twist, sometimes we think we're going to twist and reset our back, but we can actually make it worse and over twist it. So just kind of work a bit smaller. Like I'm not going all the way to the floor. I'm sure you could go all the way to the floor, but just try not to overdo it. And we'll come back to center. Take the ball off to the side, bring your knees into your chest, rock little circles on your back. And drop your right leg down, left ankle over your right leg. Grab the back of your right leg and pull into your chest. We're going to go into some stretches. Tailbone's heavy, pull your knee right in. I'm holding onto my right leg. I'm just going to pull my right leg over to the right side, hit the stretch pretty intense, and then come back out of it. So I'm using that leg to pull off, deepen the stretch, and then come back out. Try to keep your tailbone heavy. Remember to breathe with it. You can decide how you're feeling. You can hold in the stretch a bit longer, or you can just kind of keep moving in and out of it. I'm going to change over to the other leg. Ankle over your knee, grab the back. So I'm grabbing the back of my left leg now. I'm kind of using my right elbow to push my right knee away, and then pull over to the left, hit the stretch, and then back to center. I'm just going to keep hitting that stretch and then coming back out of it. And breathe. Because it's quite an intense stretch with your legs and hips, you might notice that your body's trying to pull away and tense up. Just try to melt into it, completely relax. And we'll come out of that. Pull your knees into your chest and come up to sitting. Excellent. We're going to go into my favorite sort of all-around fantastic stretch. Bring your leg off to the side. This stretch hits a lot of different spaces, and for each person it kind of hits where you need to stretch, so it will be different person to person. Have your leg as far out as you can. Walk your hands into the center and just lean forwards in the middle. You will feel a stretch in lots of different places, probably inside of your leg, from the knee all the way up into the hips. You can feel a stretch through the lower back. You can just walk your hands over to the left, over to the right, and hold where it needs to be held. Wherever the stretch is grabbing your attention, just hold it, breathe into it, and you can keep moving through. I'm going to come back into the center. I'm going to grab my toes. If you can't grab your toes, hold onto the inside of your leg or hold onto your ankle. So you pull back, keep that tension wherever you're holding onto your leg. Scoop your waist in, take your hand out to the side, rainbow up. This hip will want to feel like it's lifting up. Push it right down and away as you're stretching up. Reach right up to like the lights as far away as you can, where the like wall and the ceiling come together. And then slowly twist around. Thread your hand through. Grab the outside of your leg. If you can reach to your foot, grab the outside of your foot. But don't collapse into this. If you're really flexible, keep the tension. Keep pulling back. We're just going to drop your chest down and open. Keep breathing with it. Keep pulling back as much as you can. Push that hip down as heavy as you can. You should feel the stretch in, it's like a full body stretch. Everything is being stretched. We're going to come up out of that, rainbow your hand back up. We're going to go to the other side. Take your leg out. Start in the center, walk your hands forwards. You can walk over to the left, walk over to the right. We're just going to recreate what we did on the first side. And just check in with the left compared to the right. How does one side feel compared to the other? Now we're going to go onto this side. Grab your toes if you can. If you can't, you're going to hold onto the inside of your leg, hold onto your ankle. Pull back, pull your waist in, push this hip down, rainbow your hand up, stretch right up. Don't twist into it yet. We're going to push right away. So reach where the wall and the ceiling come together. Reach to the lights, reaching right up and out. And then slowly rotate down, thread your hand through. Grab the outside of your leg. If you can reach your foot, go for that, but don't collapse into it. Keep that pulled back tension. And then we're going to close your chest down. Lift your chest open. So really pulling this shoulder up to the ceiling as I'm pushing my hip down to the floor. Breathe with it. We're going to come back up from that, rainbow your hand all the way back up. Excellent work. Bring the bottoms of your feet together and in as close as you can. Don't worry how close that is, and don't worry about how far your knees are from the ground. It's completely different person to person. Just find the stretch as best you can. You should be stretching the inside of the legs. So knees are down, feet are in as close as you can, and we're going to circle around in your hips. I'm using this circle to scan for spaces that need the stretch. As soon as you hit a spot that feels like it's tight, just hold it. Go really slowly through it. You can just move around. It doesn't have to be a full circle. I'm just doing this movement to find the stretches. You'll feel like it's all like where the leg connects into the hip. And then if that feels like you're done with that, you can pull forwards in the center. You can use your elbows to push your knees down. Think of your shoulders melting away. We're going to come up from that. Bring your knees in, bottoms of your feet are on the ground. Use your hands to push yourself all the way up to standing. We're going to go into a twist to finish off. So you can have your heels under your knees, bend your knees as much as you need to. Hands are on the ground. Straighten out your right leg, reach your right hand up to the ceiling, look to your fingers, and then back to the ground. And then to the left. Left leg is straight, left hand reach, and back. Hopefully this is feeling a lot easier than it was at the beginning. Things should be loosening up. And come back to center. Come all the way up to standing. Take a deep breath in. Breathing out, melt down, touch to your toes, and then all the way back up. Shoulders back, chest is open, belly button's in, and you guys are done. Nice work.